Hello you gorgeous lovely individual, this is Chris from TechSpert and I'm here with Sony's fresh new Xperia XZ3 flagship phone. Been looking forward to getting my mitts on this one for a little while. And we're going to do a quick side-by-side with the OnePlus 6, one of the best smartphones of 2018, stunning value for money, just to see what the difference between them is and which one might be best for you. And please don't forget to give that subscribe button a good old poke for more on the latest and greatest mobile tech. Cheers! So as you can see, stick them side by side, and the Sony Xperia XZ3 is a little bit taller than the old OnePlus 6. It's got slightly bigger bezels, as you can see, above and below the display, which just help to stretch it out a little bit. Of course, it's also a little bit more slender as well than the OnePlus 6, which boasts a bigger screen. It's actually a 6.28-inch AMOLED screen here on the OnePlus, whereas it's only a 6-inch OLED screen here on the Sony XZ3. I say only, 6 inches, still pretty satisfying, right ladies? If we flip them both around, you'll see that both of these smartphones are of course fully glass-backed. You can pick up the XZ3 in a couple of different hues. This is the gorgeousest one though. Gorgeousest? That's not a word. This is the sexiest one though, by far, the Bordeaux red version. It's a nice sort of purpley hue to it, as you can see. When you tilt it to catch the light, it looks absolutely stunning, though of course picks up those scuff marks all too easily. The glass OnePlus 6 also picks up fingerprints and dust rather easily as well, though it does come with a couple of different finishes. This is the glossy finish, but you can also pick it up in a more matte finish as well, which is still constructed from glass, but helps to prevent a lot of the smudging, and the likes of dust and grime are a little bit trickier to pick up. The Sony Xperia XZ3 is fully water resistant at IP68, so it's fully certified. You can give it a good old dunking in the bath, take it in the pool, whatever you want to do. You don't get the same certification of water resistance here on the OnePlus, but it has been proven to survive a good old dunking in the sink and things like that. And of course you can take them out in heavy rain, things like that, no problem at all. And of course both of these smartphones support a bit of Type-C USB charging, but of course the OnePlus 6 is the only one to support a bit of 3.5mm headphone jack. In the case of the Sony, you'll need to use this Type-C USB dongle or else get a wireless pair. Unfortunately, Sony seems to insist on placing its fingerprint sensors halfway down the smartphone, which makes it kind of awkward when you're gripping it. I find myself constantly tapping the camera sensor instead of the fingerprint sensor because you have to kind of scoot your hand down a bit. That's a problem you do not get on the OnePlus. Thankfully, the fingerprint sensor just falls naturally underneath your finger, so when you pick it up, you can just unlock it nice and easily like so. In both cases, fingerprint sensor are pretty nippy as well. The OnePlus actually just about has it on speed though. Quick tap, you're basically instantly into your desktops there. Slight delay on the Xperia XZ3, but nothing exactly major. Of course, on the subject of security, the OnePlus does offer something that the Xperia XZ3 does not have, and that is facial recognition. So we dive on into the security section. As you can see there, you've got Face Unlock, and that just allows you to basically use your gorgeous mug instead of your finger to get straight into those desktops. So just a quick tap of the power button instead, and as you see, bypasses the lock screen straight into your desktops. And it works really, really well, even in low light. Sony unfortunately has not added that facial recognition feature, so you're stuck with the slightly awkward fingerprint sensor, or of course good old-fashioned pin entry. And that's just one of the features added by Oxygen OS here on the OnePlus 6, and as you can see, OnePlus has added a few other bonus features as well. So if we dive into advanced, for instance, you've got a gaming mode, which just allows you to basically disable notifications and things like that while you're gaming, and it just gives you a nice little boost when needed. And you've also got plenty of gesture support as well. You can actually completely remove the navigation bar down below and replace that with gesture support instead, so flicking up from the bottom of the screen. As you can see, you can flip to mute it, double tap to wake the screen, things like that. Sadly, there's no kind of proper one-handed mode, which is a bit of a shame because obviously the OnePlus 6 is a bit of a beast. What you can do is you can drag down the notifications bar from anywhere on the screen, which is quite handy when you want to see what emails are waiting, things like that. But you can't shrink down the rest of the display when you're using apps or anything. That's something that Sony does have on the Xperia XZ3. Just a quick flick of your finger across the navigation dock, and as you can see there, you can then use it in this nice reduced mode. All of your apps will work in this one-handed mode, and it just really, really helps with the one-handed use. Sony's also added the new side sense feature, so a quick double tap at the side of the panel. As you can see there, you've got quick access to your favourite apps. It can actually intelligently update the list of apps, but dependent on your general usage, to suggest apps that you use at specific times of the day, for instance. Very smart stuff. And you've also got fast toggles for like your Bluetooth, your Wi-Fi. OnePlus kind of does something similar. It's got the shelf feature. So as you can see here, just a quick flick of your finger across the screen. You've got fast access to your favorite contacts, again, your favorite apps, and various other widgets which you can actually choose between. As you can see, all fairly sort of standard stuff, nothing truly revolutionary. But while the OnePlus 6 offers that facial recognition, which is really, really good, Sony does of course have its remote play feature, which allows you to stream PlayStation 4 games direct to the handset. Really, really good if you want to do a bit of gaming in bed, on the bogs, whatever. Now back onto the hardware front, and you've got a gorgeous 6.28-inch AMOLED screen here on the OnePlus 6. It's very spacious, it's absolutely stunning, nice poppy colours that really jump off the screen, and it's fully customizable as well. Dive into display and then go to screen calibration. As you can see there, you've got support for the sRGB gamut if you want nice realistic colours. Otherwise, you can get really punchy stuff on the go. You can fully customize it as well. In the case of the Sony, it's a slightly smaller display. It's a 6-inch panel, but it's once again OLED. So again, you can expect nice poppy colours and everything. And again, it's fully customizable. If you dive into the colour gamut, as you can see, once again, support for sRGB, and you can also boost the colours with super vivid mode. As you can see here, you can play with the white balance to make it really warm, really cold, or you can completely customize it. In terms of the actual display resolution and everything, the Sony has the OnePlus Beat. It's a Quad HD Plus resolution screen compared with the Full HD Plus here on the OnePlus. But as you can see here, visuals are nice and crisp in either case, and of course you do get those nice punchy visuals thanks to the OLED displays. Of course, in order to achieve that sort of full view finish, the OnePlus does rock a bit of a notch action up top here. So as you can see, that does intrude on some of your apps when you're, for instance, browsing a gallery, something like that, something you don't get here on the Sony. Don't worry if that particularly offends you though, because all you can do is dive into the settings, go to display, and as you can see, notch display, you can just choose to hide it, and then from that point on, whenever you are in an app, the notch will be hidden from view. So let's just dive back on into that picture, blow it right up, and as you can see, the notch is hidden from view. Now when it comes to media, definitely the Sony is the favourite of these two handsets for us. Sony's Xperia engine just really helps to boost those lower quality visuals, giving them a nice punch, you get nice crisp detail in, and you also get some really nice punchy colours as well coming through. Basically you can take any sort of standard video and boost it up to basically almost HDR level quality. As you can see there, really, really nice gorgeous colours, really shining through, still looks nice and natural, doesn't look artificial in any way, but just really, really stands out. That said, the OnePlus 6 is of course still a great media device as well. Again, nice crisp visuals and really nice punchy colours. Of course, Sony does offer a couple of little bonus features as well. You get the likes of the dynamic vibration system. All that really does is make the phone rumble like a motherfucker. So if that's your bag, then great. You also get support for the DSEH-X engine as well, which just helps to boost any low quality compressed music tracks you might have and make them sound a bit more full-bodied. So for your music and video, definitely the Sony is our pick of the pair. As for the performance, both of these handsets run a bit of Snapdragon 845 action, so nice and nippy in either case. You'll be able to run the latest apps, play the latest games, likes of PUBG Mobile on top detail settings. No worries whatsoever. Super, super fast and responsive. That said, in the case of the OnePlus 6, you do get 6 to 8 gigs of RAM, whereas the Sony Xperia XZ3 only has 4 gigs of RAM packed on. Run a bit of Geekbench on both these devices though, and as you can see, the end results are basically pretty much the same. There's very little to distinguish between them both. That Snapdragon 845 chipset is absolutely stunning stuff. And of course you get next level connectivity as well, up to 1.2 gigabytes per second download. When it comes to storage, once again, the OnePlus 6 has the Sony Beat. As you see, the Sony comes with 64 gigs as standard, that's your only choice. But it does support microSD memory cards up to 512 gigabytes. In the case of the OnePlus 6, you can get it in 64 gigs, or you can also boost it up to 128 gigs, which is this model, or even all the way up to 256 gigs. But that said, Sony does have the advantage in that microSD memory card. That's something that the OnePlus 6 does not support. So if you are going to be downloading a lot of media, we definitely recommend boosting up to the 128 or the 256 gig model just to make sure you're not running out of space. And when it comes to the battery tech, it's actually a tie. They both have a 3300 milliamp cell on board, which basically means you can expect a full day of intensive use from either of these devices. However, the Sony Xperia XZ3 is the only one of this pair to support wireless charging via the Qi standard, so if that's your bag, then the Sony is the one to go for. And you also get a nice bit of the Qnovo battery tech on there as well, just to prevent overcharging, which will help keep your battery performance solid over the length of a full 2-year contract. Both of these phones also support fast charging, although the dash charge is definitely our favourite of the two. Super nippy, and the phone remains nice and ice cool throughout. Which brings us neatly onto the camera tech, and as you can see, the OnePlus 6 rocks a dual lens setup. It's a 16 megapixel primary lens backed by a 20 megapixel secondary lens, and they're both f1.7, and you do get a bit of optical image stabilization built into that primary lens as well. In the case of the Xperia XZ3, it's just a single lens setup, a single 19 megapixel f2.0 lens. If we dive on into the camera app, you'll see they offer a similar sort of general experience. You're into your auto mode as soon as you load up. You've got fast access to the video mode on demand as well. You can shoot up to 4K resolution video on either of these blowers, although the OnePlus is the only one to offer 4K at 60 frames per second. That said, while the Sony tops off at 4K at 30 frames per second, you do get support for HDR video as well, something that the OnePlus cannot do. And of course, both offer really smooth image stabilization, even at that 4K level as well, which is particularly impressive. You get a handful of bonus modes in either of these cases as well. So for instance, you've got full manual controls, which is definitely good if you know what you're doing. You want to mess around with the likes of the white balance, shutter speed, things like that. As you can see there, you can have a bit of a play around. You've also got slow motion in both of these cases as well. In the case of the OnePlus 6, as you can see, you've got a choice between 720p at 480 frames per second, or you can boost it up to Full HD at 240 frames per second. In the case of the Sony, it's much more capable. You can shoot super slow motion at 960 frames per second, even at that Full HD resolution. So if you like shooting a lot of slow-mo, the choice is obvious. As you can see, you do have a portrait mode in both of these phones as well. But in the case of the OnePlus 6, because it's got that dual lens setup, it's much stronger at shooting. Nice bokeh effects while keeping the silhouette of your subject nice and clean. As for the front-facing cameras, you get a 16 megapixel snapper here on the OnePlus 6, and it's a 13 megapixel here on the Sony. And either will definitely do the job if you just want to shoot a nice shareable selfie to stick on Facebook or something like that. So that in a nutshell is Sony's Xperia XZ3 compared with the OnePlus 6. The OnePlus 6 is a little bit cheaper than the Sony Xperia XZ3, offers some great features like that facial recognition, more memory, more storage, but then the XZ3 has better media chops in our own personal thoughts, like the X Reality engine, the fact that it's got all the great audio support and everything as well. And of course, if you have a PS4, you can do remote play to this bad boy as well. So which one do you personally prefer? Definitely let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more on the latest and greatest mobile tech. We're doing lots more with the Xperia XZ3, so stay tuned for that. And of course, OnePlus 6T might be launching soon as well, so definitely stay tuned for all of that. Thanks guys, love you, bye.